We often think that a life-changing moment has to be this huge, loud thing, like a lightning bolt of inspiration or some massive dramatic event. But what if I told you that the most profound transformation of your life is probably going to start with something much, much quieter?
The truth is, real lasting change, it usually shows up without any fanfare at all. There's no big cinematic breakthrough moment where the music swells, it just kind of happens. And it definitely doesn't wait around for that perfect feeling of motivation to strike. I mean, let's be real, if we wait for that, we could be waiting forever, right? This kind of change is built on something way more reliable than a feeling. It all boils down to just one small habit. Something so simple, so seemingly insignificant that most of us completely overlook it while we're out there searching for some big secret formula. But this one thing, when you do it over and over, it can quietly change absolutely everything. So this brings us to a huge problem for so many of us, what I like to call the myth of motivation. It's this idea that we have to wait for inspiration to strike before we can act, and it's the very thing that keeps us feeling like we're spinning our wheels.
Does this sound familiar? You're on the left side of this screen. You start things, but you never finish. You feel like you're working so hard, but you're stuck in the same place, totally dependent on motivation. But after you adopt this one little habit, something just shifts. You get to the right side. It's not about trying harder. It's about a totally different kind of effort. One that builds real momentum, this quiet confidence, and gives you results that finally start to make sense. Okay, so what is this habit? What are we talking about here? It's the simple but incredibly powerful practice of just showing up. That's it. It's the act that sits at the foundation of all meaningful progress. So what does showing up actually mean? Well, it's the habit of consistent action. But here's the most important part, especially when it feels pointless. That little phrase right there, that's the whole game. It's about doing the thing even when you see zero immediate reward. Look, this habit isn't for the Instagram highlight reel. Its real power is built when no one is watching, when your progress feels completely invisible, and frankly, when every rational part of your brain is screaming at you that quitting is the only logical thing to do. It's for the days you are the least inspired. So why? Why is this simple act so much more powerful than waiting for these big bursts of motivation? Well, it all comes down to overcoming the one thing we can never truly count on, our own feelings. This question right here, this is the progress killer. It's the little negotiation we have with ourselves every single day. Do I feel like going to the gym? Do I feel like writing that chapter? Do I feel like doing the hard work? The second you ask this, you're putting your fleeting, unreliable emotions in the driver's seat. But the habit of showing up totally flips the script. It replaces that dangerous question with a powerful statement. It's a fundamental shift, right? It's no longer a negotiation with your mood. I don't feel like it becomes totally irrelevant because the answer is always, doesn't matter. This is just what I do. Think about it like this. Motivation is like building a house on sand. It's emotional, it's unreliable, it changes with the weather. But habits are a solid, concrete foundation. They get rid of that daily debate in your head, they build real discipline, and they simply do not negotiate. We're so conditioned to look for these loud, exciting signs that we're making progress. But real growth, the kind that actually sticks, it's almost always quiet. It happens in those boring, silent, repetitive moments that nobody ever sees or applauds. And this quiet, consistent action leads to the most powerful outcome of all. See, it stops being about what you accomplish and starts being about who you become. The habit transforms you from someone who is just doing something into someone who is a certain type of person. And there's a huge, huge difference here. On one side, you're someone trying to be consistent. You can hear the struggle in that, right? But on the other side, you are simply someone who shows up. It's not an act anymore, it's just who you are. And let me tell you, your identity is infinitely more powerful than your motivation will ever be. Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, but how do we actually put this into practice? The great news is you can start this habit literally today with a few really simple, practical steps. Now the key, and this is so important, is you have to start smaller than your ego wants to. Our ego wants to go all in, run a marathon on day one, but that's a trap. You need to aim for something that's almost laughably small. Just write one page. Do one workout, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Put in one single hour of focused work. That's it.
Because the point of starting this small isn't to achieve something amazing on day one. It's not about impressing yourself or anyone else. The single most important goal is just to continue. It's about building the muscle of showing up day after day after day. So what's the final truth here? The habits that will actually change your life, they aren't going to be dramatic. They're quiet. They're repetitive. And yeah, a lot of the time, especially at the beginning, they're going to be uncomfortable. That's just the reality of what real growth feels like. And so that leaves us with one final, really powerful question to ask yourself. Just forget about motivation, forget about inspiration for a minute. What is one small thing that you will show up for today, even if it feels completely and utterly pointless? Because that is where the real work and the real magic begins.